Hindi mo ba napapansin, mga bulaklak ay magkakawangis, mga dahon ay magkakahugis? Hindi mo ba nakatanong, ay may ayos na sinusundan?
Good, ko gets ang lesson sa math. Lalok na itong mga logical.
Girl, same. Very intimidating. Correct. Ay, tunali. Dawa ako. Girl, same. Very intimidating. Correct. Ay, tunali. Dawa ako. Hindi. Pauli na dapat ako pero tabangan mo yung kamo. Anong linggo, may ways man para masimbag ang math, lalo na ako, logical. Ang problem-solving strategies.
We see math as a very intimidating subject. Diba? Yung mga terms, numbers, lalo na kung it's a worded problem. For some of us, is nahihirapan how to solve it. But what if I told you that there is a way para mas mapadali ang buhay natin sa math? Lalo na sa mga word problem. That's why, welcome to Lesson 101, where we are going to teach you problem-solving strategy BSN 1B. First, let's jump on our objectives. First, learn problem-solving strategy. Second, learn Polyas strategy. Third, apply solving strategies in different math problems. And lastly, enjoy learning. Before we start, I'm sure we have questions such as, what is problem solving? What is problem solving strategy? And lastly, what is the importance of learning problem solving strategy? And here are the answers that is necessary for us to better understand and appreciate our today's lesson. 1. Problem solving is finding a way to apply knowledge and skills you have to answer unfamiliar types of problem. And problem-solving strategy naman is, it involves identifying the problem and carrying out a plan of action to find a answer to a mathematical problem. It also requires logical reasoning and critical skills. So, kumbaga po, ang ibig sabihin ng problem solving is, ito yung mga unfamiliar problem, like sa math, na need nating hanapan ng strategy, how to solve it. Of course, with the use na ng mga pinag-aralan natin. Like for example, addition, multiplication, during our elementary years. And pag sinabi naman natin na problem-solving strategy, ito naman yung mismong strategy mo to be guided sa pag-solve ng mga problems. And lastly, it is important because problem-solving strategy skills are essential. Not only it is vehicle for developing a logical thinking, it can provide student also with a context for learning mathematical knowledge. It can enhance transfer of skills to unfamiliar situation, and it is a aesthetic form in itself. So, ito naman po, sinasabi na it enhance our logical reasoning, critical thinking, na as a student and as an individual is magagamit mo. Also, since sa real life, magagamit mo din siya. Also, mapapalawak din yung learning natin sa math. So, pag napalawak yung learning sa math is, mas less na nating nakikita ang math as an intimidating na subject. Also, it enhances the use of certain skills. na magagamit natin sa mga unfamiliar situation. Like sa math, may mga unfamiliar problems din tayong nai-encounter. But with the use ng mga skills and previous knowledge natin, for sure is we can solve it. Since nata-challenge yung utak natin. Kaya nasabi na parang nagkakaroon ng enhancement of skills. And also, nasabi din na it is a aesthetic form of self. Kasi 'di ba, may certain different kind of satisfaction pag nakakasolve tayo ng problem. Lalo na sa math. And also, alam naman natin na mahirap ang math. So, parang nakakadagdag ng self-esteem pag nakakasagot tayo sa math. So now, let's start our formal lesson. So, ano nga ba yung Polya's problem-solving strategy? Dito muna tayo sa background. So, yung nasa picture po, siya si George Polya. Nearly 100 years ago, a man named George Polya designed a 4-step method to solve all kinds of problems. Yung mga method niya po is such as understand the problem, make a plan, execute the plan, and look back and reflect. So, kumbaga po, he created 4 steps to solve a problem na applicable sa math, pero applicable din sa buhay. Kumbaga, hindi lang sa math nagagamit yung 4 step, is pati din daw po sa buhay nagagamit din yun. Also, because the method is simple and generalizes as well, it has become a classic method for solving problems. In fact, the method is applicable to all areas of our lives where we encounter problems, not just in math. And also po, although the method appears to be a straightforward method where you start at step 1, then you go to step 2, 3, and 4, the reality is that you will often need to go back and forth through the 4 step until you have solved and reflected on a problem. So, it means po na despite how guided ang step na ini, may mga tendency na data na justify ang mga answer ta. That's why we need to go back sa step 1 since problem solving can be a process nga po ning trial and error. Kumbaga, pwede po siyang maging cycle. Next. So, ito naman po, ito na yung Polya's 4 steps problem solving strategy. So, number 1 po is understand the problem. So, kumbaga, intindihin mo muna yung question. Then, number 2 is devise a plan. Ito na po yung yung magiging plano mo. Paano mo na siya isa-solve. And number 3 is carry out the plan. So, after mong ma-decide ng plano, is gagamitin mo na yung plano, how to solve it. And also, number 4 is review the solution. So, dito po, kailangan mo i-make sure na ma-justify mo yung sagot mo. And to further elaborate po yung 4 step is next na po. So, ayun. Sa number 1, which is understand the problem. First is read the problem carefully. So, kumbaga, since madali tayong ma-intimidate sa tanong, minsan, komplikado yung term, pero madali lang naman pala yung ibig sabihin. So, kailangan, basahin mo muna ng maigi yung question. Then, next naman, try explaining it to yourself. Try mong explain on your own understanding, in your own words. If need mong i-Bicol, i-Tagalog, it doesn't matter as long as magets mo yung question. Dito naman, what am I looking for? Ask yourself, what am I looking for? Ano ba yung hinahanap mo? Ito naman yung mismong tanong. Like, for example, ang tanong is, may problem na ang tinaas is, I have 3 dogs, namely, 1, 2. What is the name of my 3rd dog? So, ang hinahanap mo dun is, what is the name of my 3rd dog? Yun yung question. Then, highlight your givens. Ito naman, Like for example, yung 20 cakes, possible na ganyan iyan yung given. So, tig-highlight mo. It necessary na malaman mo yung givens para hindi ka nahanap ng hanap. Next is devise a plan. Ito naman, after mong maintindihan and identify yung givens mo, is you have to choose your strategy. You have to choose your strategy. So, ito naman is kailangan mo nang gumawa ng plano. Need mo na ng plano, like ano yung gagamitin mong strategy para mas mapadali yung pagsagot mo. Like yung mga following, like for example sa making a list, dyan usually if need mo nang jot down, like if kailangan na in order yung data. Sa drawing a diagram naman, like for example is need na may i-compare kang data. Sa making a table naman, like if need mo na mas ma-visualize yung data. Also, yung diagram din is pwede mong gamitin para mas mapadali mong ma-visualize. And also, solve similar but simple problem. Ito naman, may mga simple problem kang need na alam mo muna dapat before mong ma-solve yung main na problem. Like for example, ilan daw yung square sa Rubik's Cube? Before you solve it, you must know first kung ano yung unit 1, 2, and 3 ng kada sides. Then, saka ka palang makakasolve nung mismong main question, which is kung ilan yung box or square na meron ang Rubik's Cube. So, ito naman next. Look for pattern. So, look for pattern naman is usually ginagamit natin, especially if kailangan nating identify yung next data. Like, for example, lahat need may +2 or lahat nag-start sa K or ito pa yung mga data is puro alphabetical. Next naman is guess and check. Sa guess and check naman, ito naman is we usually need to guess here. So, more trial and error since yung data is not direct. So, kumbaga, repeated siya hanggang sa makuha mo mismo yung certain na na sagot mo. Like, kailangan mo muna dyan mag-add. If hindi pa yung mismong sagot, kailangan mo naman ulitin. So, kaya siya guess and check. Also naman, lastly, ito na, yung indirect reasoning. Ito naman, usually ginagamit ng mga hindi nagre-review or puro lang stock knowledge since gumagamit sila dito ng canceling method sa mga options. Like, kunyari, yung A, paano siya bakit siya hindi yung sagot? Kumbaga, puro lang indirect reasoning. And, pang-third naman natin, which is you carry out the plan. After you choose the strategy, kailangan mo na mag-start ng mag-solve. Tapos, make sure that when you solve, it's neat and you focus. Since, kailangan daw na pag nag-solve is, dapat is nakafocus ka and malino yung sinusulat mo. Kasi, usually, ang nagkakaroon tayo ng error tuwing nagsusolve tayo is dyan sa technical or pag habang nagsusulat ka na. Like for example, ang minimin mo pala is 1. Pero dahil medyo hindi maayos yung sulat mo, ang parang pakaintindi na is parang 7 na siya. So, may big impact na siya. Automatic, mali na yun. And also, keep in mind that it can be a trial and error process. So, kung hindi mag-work yung ginamit mong strategy, try mo na to choose a different strategy instead. Like what I've said, trial and error ito minsan. So, patient is virtue talaga. And next naman is, ito na, last na siya. Yung number 4 is review the solution. Make sure that your solution is clear and consistent. Para once you check, is madali mong ma-identify if mali yung method mo or correct na. And also, after you solve and get the answer, ask yourself if your answer is reasonable or justifiable. Because we can't settle na nag-answer ka lang, okay, ginamit mo strategy mo, may nakuha kang answer. Dapat, ang answer is correct din. So, dapat, ma-justify mo, reasonable si answer mo. Diyan na po ma-apply mo na si mga previous knowledge mo, like even numbers. Ito, meron akong example here, na examples na pwede mong gamitin to justify your answer. Like, for example, napansin mo na ang reason mo is puro kaya even numbers, o kaya puro naman odd numbers, o kaya added by 2. So, may note po na you can always go back to the first part if you still didn't get the correct answer, because this method can be a cycle of trial and error. So, kumbaga, once na, pag na-day mo na-justify si answer mo, you have to always go back sa step 1. Is balikan mo ulit si question. And next, ito naman, this is my tips to remember. Yung 4 steps ni Polya. Kailan mo lang alalahanin yung apps, check. Yan, U is for understand. Meaning is kailangan read carefully and need mong mag-highlight. Next, P stands for plan. Meaning, choose your strategy. Like for example, listing method ang listing method ang gagamitin mo. Next is S stands for solve. Ito naman, try solving the problem using your strategy. Kailangan mo na ito na yung actual ka nang magsosolve. And lastly is check. Dito naman, you have to explain and justify your answer. So, pag nakaka-encounter tayo ng problem, just remember apps, check. Para mas madali. Now naman is for example time. Dito naman, we will use the Polya's 4 step to answer the following math problem. So, ito naman. Ang first po natin na strategy is making a list. So, meron tayo ditong problem. Ang tanong is, how many 2 digits number have 3? So, kumbaga, ang tinatanong naman po dito is, ilang 2 digit number ang meron daw pong 3. Meron daw pong 3. So, yan. U. Ang U, remember, ang U is kailangan to understand. So, ito naman yung pakaintindi ko. 2 digits with number 3 on it. So, kumbaga, yan na yung naka-highlight. Yung 2 digit, tapos, meron dapat siyang number 3. Ito naman yung plano ko. I will use the strategy of making a list. Making a list since need to jot down kung ano-ano yung mga numbers na may 3 na 2 digit lang dapat. Ito naman yung pag-solve. What if sinabi ko na 11? Siyempre, mali yun kasi 2 digit nga siya pero wala siyang 3. So, next naman na naisip ko is 13. Next naman is 23. Since 2 digit siya and may 3 din siya. Next naman, 30. Next naman is 31. Next naman is 32. Next naman is 33. Next naman is 34. Yung 35. Also din. 36. 37. 38 din. 39. And 43. Bakit hindi yung 40? Yes, 2 digit siya, pero wala siyang 3. So, hindi siya included. Next naman is 53. Bakit hindi kasali yung 50? Again, wala siyang number 3. Pero 2 digit siya. Then naman, 63. Next naman is 73. Next naman is 83. So, may next pa, which is the 93. Yan na yung pinaka last na number. So, since ang tinatanong sa atin is ilan na 2-digit number ang mayroon 3. So, we can start now counting from 13 hanggang 93. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 siya. So, ito naman, paano ko siya na-check? It is a systematic listing of 2-digit number that contains a 3. So, ito na yung final na simbag or answer. 18 2-digit numbers contains 3. And, syempre, we need more examples. So, next na naman natin na question is, a leader and a secretary are to be chosen from a group of 5 students for their class activity. In how many ways it can be done? So, yung naka-highlight is yung leader and the secretary. 5 student daw. Tapos, ito naman yung you natin. In how many ways it can be done? So, yan yung you natin. Ito yung understanding natin. Pipili ng 1 na possible pair of leader and secretary. And then, ilan ang possible na mag-prepare sa 5 na student. Ano nga na yung plano? Yan, making a list. Since, kailangan nating i-jot down kung ilang possible pair ang pwedeng magawa sa 5 students. So, ito naman, we can now start sa pagsosolve. So, yan. Si A for Anna, B for Bella, C for Chloe, D for Daniel, and E for L. So, ito naman yung name is naka-representation siya nung 5 students natin. So, start muna tayo kay Anna. So, ito naman is yung right is yung leader and yung nasa left is yun naman yung secretary. So, let's proceed. Sino pa yung pwede? Si AC, which ibig sabihin si Anna and si Chloe. Then, si Anna, then si Daniel. Si Anna, then si L. Sabi naman kay Bella. Si Bella, then si Anna. Si Bella, then si Chloe. Then, si Bella naman, and then si Daniel. Si Bin naman, or for Bella, then si L. Next naman, kay Chloe, which is, ang pwede niyang kapartner is si Anna. Si Chloe, and then si Bella. Si Chloe, then si Daniel. Si Chloe, and si L. For Daniels, ang pwede niya naman na maging kapartner, if siya yung magiging leader, is Anna. Then, pwede niya naman na secretary is si Bella. Next naman is si Chloe. Then, si L. And for L naman, yung possible na mga magiging secretary niya, yan, si Bella. And then, si Chloe. And lastly is si Daniel. So, kumbaga is, ginamit natin na iniisa-isa natin. So, how to check? It's a systematic listing and ginagamit natin yung probability. So, since ang tanong sa atin is, ilang possible pair ang pwedeng ma-form sa 5 student, ang answer dun is, yan, it could be done in 20 ways since 4 times 5 is 20.
Drawing a diagram. Problem 1. Jospa spent 25 minutes on the internet yesterday. If this was 5/6 of the time he spent on the phone, how long did he spend on the phone but not on the internet? So, ang sinasabi niya dito is, kung gaano kahaba yung na-spend niya sa phone, hindi sa internet. Ops check. If 5 out of 6 of the time is spent on using phone for internet is 25 minutes, How long did he spend on the phone but not on the internet? So, gagawa tayo ng diagram. Sa paggawa natin ng diagram, dapat nasa center or nasa circle yung pangalan ni Joshua. Circle name. And then, 5 circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and then, 5/6 is equal to 25. Then 1 circle for number 6. 1 circle is equal to 5. Then 1 circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 5 equals to 25 minutes. The pattern is divisible by 5. So, 25 divide 5. The answer is he spent 5 minutes on his phone. Drawing a diagram. Problem number 2. In a school department of 320 nursing students, 85 students are in the Red Cross organization, 200 students are in the sport team, and 60 students participate in both organization or team. How many students are not involved in either Red Cross or sport? Ops check. How many students are not involved in either Red Cross or sport? So, 85 students in the Red Cross and 200 in sport. So, gagawa tayo ng Venn diagram. So, lalagay natin sa diagram is yung Red Cross, tapos yung sport. Red Cross. Sa Red Cross may 85. Then sa sport ay 200. Dun sa gitna, ilalagay natin ay yung mga nag-participate. 60 students yung nag-participate. So, subtract 60 to Red Cross and sport. So, yung 85 galing siya sa Red Cross. Then, yung 60 galing siya sa boat dun sa 60 student. So, 85 minus 60 is equal to 25. Then, lalagay natin dyan sa Red Cross. 25. Doon naman sa sport, 200 minus or subtract 60 is equal to 140. Then, lalagay natin siya dyan. 140. Add 25, 60, and 140 student to get the number of student with organization. Add now natin. 25 plus 60 plus 140 is equal to 225. Subtract 320, total student of 225 student with organization to get the number of student without any organization. So, ang gagawin natin dyan is 320 minus 225. Ayan. 320 minus 225 is equal to 95. So, 95. 225 5 student plus 95 student is 320, which is the total number of students. So, ano daw po yung total number of student? So, nakita naman natin dyan na naandito na yung sagot na 95. So, ang answer ay 95 students are not involved in either of two organization or teams. So, nakita na natin yung sagot sa 320 minus 25 is equal to 95. So, 95 yung hindi kasali sa two organization.
Making table. Problem number 1. Angela sell ice candy for 5 days since summer is about to come. On the first day, she made 250 pesos, and every day after that, she made 50 pesos more than the previous day. How much money did Angela make in all after 5 days? So, sabi daw is si Angela ay nakagawa ng ice candy sa loob ng 5 days since malapit na mag-summer. Sa unang araw niya ay nagkaroon siya ng kita na 250 pesos. Sumunod na araw daw, after niya makakuha ng 250 pesos, mas nadagdagan ng extra 50 pesos yung kita niya kaysa dun sa previous day niya. So, ang tanong is, ilan daw kaya ang kinita ni Angela sa loob ng 5 days? So, we're gonna use ups and check. So, U is understand the problem. So, the problem is, how much money did Angela make in all after 5 days? So, we're gonna use a table. So, gagawa tayo ng table. So, yan, days. So, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 days and this is the 250 pesos na kinita ni Angela sa first day niya. So, it is said that the next days is she get 50 pesos more than the previous. So, 250 plus 50 equals 300. So, 300. 300 yung kinita niya sa 2 days. So, 300 plus 50 is equals to 350. So, 350 naman yung kinita niya sa day 3 niya na pagtitinda ng ice candy. So, 350 plus 50 is equals to 400. So, in her day 4, nakakita siya ng 400 pesos. Sa last day niya, which is day 5, 400 plus 50 is equals to 450. So, nagkaroon siya ng 450 na money. Since it is asked for the total after 5 days, add everything. Add daw everything. 250 plus 300 plus 350 is 400 plus 400 plus 450 is equals to 1,750 pesos. So, ang ginamit nating solution is by adding 50 to the next number at the pattern. So, the answer is she made 1,750 pesos in all after 5 days. So, next problem. Problem number 2. Chloe drinks 10 cups of coffee every week. How many cups of coffee does she drink in 5 weeks? So, sana day pa man nagpapaltipate si Chloe ade. So, sabi daw, si Chloe daw usually nakakainom ng cup of coffee every week ng 10 na cup of coffee. So, ang tanong is, ilan daw kayang cup of coffee ang nainom niya sa loob ng 5 weeks? So, we're gonna use again the ups and check. So, understand the problem. So, the problem is, how many cup of coffee does she drink in 5 weeks? So, again, we're going to use a table. We're gonna make a table. So, yan. Number of week, syempre. And number of cups of coffee. Week 1. So, if she drinks 10 cups in 1 week, then multiply the number of week to 10. So, 1 times 10 is equals to 10. So, in her week 1, kainom siya ng 10 cups of coffee. Sa week 2, 2 times 10 is equals to, of course, 20. So, 20 ang nainom niya sa week 2. Sa week 3, 3 times 10 is equals to 30. So, 13 cups of coffee ang nainom ni Chloe. So, week 4 naman is 4 times 10 is of course 40. So, 40 yung nainom ni Chloe na coffee. 5, so week 5 times 10 is equals to 50. So, 50 yung nainom niya. So, 5 tens is equals to 50. So, the answer is she drinks 50 cups of coffee in.
Let's move on to solving similar but simple problems. So here is our problem number 1. The question is, how many squares are there in the picture? It's important to assess first what is asked. In this given problem, we are asked how many squares there are. In order to answer this question, it is important to follow the Polya's 4 steps in problem-solving strategies. Remember the UPS check? U stands for understanding the problem. So, ang highlighted sentence natin is the asked, or how many squares are there in the picture. As I said, it's important to assess first what is asked. Ang hinahanap natin is ilang squares ba ang nasa problem natin. The next is what is our plan. P stands for the plan or devising the plan. So in this case, we are using the solving similar but simple problem strategy. Yan ang plan natin. S stands for solving or carrying out the plan. Our steps in solving the problem is this. Step number 1, break apart or change the problem into ones that are easier to solve. Meaning to say, i-break apart natin siya into pieces in order to understand it better. Number 2 is, once we've broken them apart, solve the simpler problems. Once we've broken them apart, we are able to solve the simple or the smaller parts of the problem. Step 3, use the answers to the simpler problems to solve the original problem. Once na masagutan na natin yung simpler problems, we are gonna utilize those answers to that small problems or simpler problems in answering or solving our original problem. And lastly, check. The check stands for reviewing or checking the solution. We should ask ourselves if clear na ba ang solution natin and justifiable ba ang answer natin. As my co-member earlier said, this is a trial and error process. So, it is critical na i-check natin ang solution and answer natin. We can always go back and to the first part if hindi natin nakuha on our first try. So, let's go back to the picture to help us understand the strategy better. Here is our problem. Again, how many squares are there in the picture? So, in solving this problem, we have step 1. Break apart or change the problem into ones that are easier to solve. We'll be breaking apart the picture into squares with sides of 1 unit, which looks like this, squares with sides of 2 units, which look like this, and squares with sides of 3 units, which look like this. So step 2, solve the simpler problems. So the squares with 1 unit have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The squares with 1 unit have 9 squares in total. In our squares with 2 units, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 squares in total. So squares with unit 3, we have only one big square. So step 3, use the answers to the simpler problems to solve the original problem. Add the square side of 1, 2, 3 units to get the total number of squares in the picture. So ang sagot natin dyan is 9 and 4 and 1. I-add lang natin sila. Like this. 9 plus 4 plus 1 equals 14. 14 sides. For checking, we count by units. So ang final answer natin is the number of squares in the picture is 14. So 14 sides ang sagot natin. Let's have another example. Problem number 2. Chris is one of the 2 bakers for Barbie's Bakery. Working separately, the 2 bakers can make a total of 2 pies in 2 hours. The bakery wants to hire an additional of 2 bakers for larger pie orders. At this rate, how many pies can 4 bakers make in 6 hours if they bake separately? So in assessing this problem, we should be able to notice that there are 2 bakers. One is Chris, and let's assume that Barbie is one of the 2 bakers. And if they work separately, they can make 2 pies in 2 hours in total. If they hire additional 2 bakers, how many can they bake in 6 hours? So that is our question or problem. These underlined words are the given. Again, we are going to utilize the UPS or the UPS check in solving our problem number 2. In you or understanding, how many pies can 4 bakers make in 6 hours if they bake separately? That is the asked. 2 bakers can make 2 pies in 2 hours. Our P or plan is by using similar but simple problem. In solving or carrying out the plan, we will be using this illustration. So if we have 1 baker, there will be 1 pie made in 2 hours. That is the given. So 1 baker can make 1 pie in 2 hours. If we have 2 bakers, there will be 2 pies made in 2 hours, which is also a given. So sa loob ng 2 oras, the 2 bakers could bake 2 pies. They work separately, that's why it remains 2 hours. If we have 4 bakers, they will be able to bake 4 pies in 2 hours. If we have 4 bakers, they will be able to bake 1 pie each in a span of 2 hours, because they bake simultaneously. If we have 4 bakers, we will be able to have 8 pies in 4 hours. It becomes 4 hours since each baker creates 2 pies already. 4 bakers times 2 pies equals 8 pies. 2 pies equals 2 pies times 2 hours equals 4 hours. If we have 4 bakers, we will be able to create 12 pies in 6 hours. It becomes 6 hours since each baker creates 3 pies. 4 bakers times 3 pies equals 12 pies. 3 pies times 2 hours equals 6 hours. So, to check, let us look back at the problem. The number of bakers doubled, so 2 times 2 or 4 pies can be made in 2 hours. In 6 hours, the bakers can make 3 times 4 or 12 pies. So the answer is correct. Our final answer is 4 bakers can make 12 pies in 6 hours.
So, next is look for a pattern. So, problem number 1, the house numbers in Naga City change in a planned way. They already number few houses with 3, 6, 9, and 12. What would be the next 2 house numbers? So, U stands for understand, or meaning read carefully and highlight. P stands for plan, meaning choose your strategy like for sample listing method. And S stands for solve, meaning try solving the problem using your strategy and check. Is explain and justify your answers. So, the main question here is, in 3, 6, 9, 12, what would be the next 2 numbers? So, using finding the pattern strategy, so here is 3, 6, 9, and 12. So, what are the 2 houses next? So, to get the next 2 number, we can multiply it by 3. So, 3 times 1 equal 3. 3 times 2 equal 6. 3 times 3 equal 9. 3 times 4 equals 12. And 3 times 5 equals 16. And then 3 times 6 equals 18. So, the answer is 15 and 18. Ganun lang kadali. Or if halimbawa, nahirapan kang i-multiply yun, pwede ka naman gumamit ng multiplication table if ever nahihirapan ka. Ganun. So the pattern is all numbers are divisible by 3. So next, problem number 2. First week of first aid club had 3 students. Second week had 5 students. The third week had 8 students. And the fourth week had 12. If this pattern continues, how many students will show up for the 8th week? So, ang highlighted na naman ulit dito is how many students will show up for the 8th week. We can look for pattern. So, this is week 1 and students. 3. So, as mentioned, in the first week, we have 3 students. That's why it's 3. Week 2, and then 5, because it is mentioned also that we have 5 students in the second week. Third, 8. Fourth, 12. So, here, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, this is the week that aalamin natin kung ilan ba yung student na papasok dito. So, to determine a pattern in numbers, you can try to subtract the first two numbers. For example, 5 minus 3 equal 2. So, dyan na siya sa baba. Yung 2. Sa baba ng students. 8 minus 5 equals 3. 12 minus 8 equals 4. So, kung mapapansin nyo, tuloy-tuloy din siya. So, this is 5, 12. So, dito, ang next dito is parang addition na siya ang susunod. Kasi, continuous din tong sa baba ng student. So, ang next is addition para makuha mo yung students sa 4, 5, 6, and 7. So, 2 plus 3 equal 5. 5 plus 3 equal 8. 8 plus 4 equal 12. 12 plus 5 equals 17. So, yung 17, papasok na siya katabi natong 12. Dito sa week number 5. And then, 17 plus 17 plus 6, equals 23. So, sa week 6, we have 23 students. And then, next, 23 plus 7. So, equals 30. Dito na siya papasok sa ika-7th week. And then, 30 plus 8 equals 38. So, now, the pattern is we add the number of student to number 2 to 8.
Guess and check. Do you know that we can solve our problem by guessing and checking? Guessing and checking can give us a sense to our problem. Here are problem number 1. As you can see, we have 8 pink butterflies, 6 blue butterflies, and 7 orange butterflies. Here are scenario number 1. Jaya sees 2 color butterflies. She sees a total of 15 butterflies. Which 2 colors of butterfly did she see? Always remember our apps check policy or strategy. Okay. U represents for our question. Our question is, which 2 colors of butterfly did she see that will total to 15 butterflies? We know that our answers only need 2 colors on the 15 butterflies. We also know that our answer may be the pink, blue, or orange butterflies only. Okay. P. P represents for our plan. We know that our plan is to get the correct answer by using the guess and check strategy. Note that using guess and check strategy can be tricky. There's always a trial and error. So be sure to read the problem
properly. To get the correct colors of butterflies that you see, we can try to add the two numbers that can be resolved to 15. So next is RS. RS is the one who carry our plan. Just think about like this. Think a number na kapag inad natin ay maaaring mag-equal to 15. Remember that our question has only 3 options. The 8 pink butterflies, 6 blue butterflies, and the 7 orange butterfly. So, let's try to add the 8 pink butterflies plus 6 orange butterflies. 8 plus 6 is equal to 14. So, 14 is incorrect. Okay, let's try another one. Let's add the 8 butterflies plus the 7 orange butterflies. 7 plus 8 is equal to 15. So, 15 is our correct answer. Next is our check. Our check is the one who carry or summarize our answer. So, pink is 8 and orange butterflies is 7. So 8 plus 7 is equal to 15. So our final answer is the two colors of butterfly she saw is pink and orange. Problem number 2. Which 3 consecutive adits will give you a sum of 72? RU is which 3 consecutive adits which 3 consecutive adits will give you a sum of 72? Just think about 3 numbers na magkakasunod-sunod. Like, example, 1, 2, 3, or 11, 12, 13. And some numbers like 40 plus 20. So, P. We know that P, our plan is to use the guess and check strategy. Note, always remember the note, the trial and error. We need to guess. Think about the 3 numbers na consecutive, then add. And it should be equal to 72. Like adits, mga adits. 15, 16, 17. 15, 16, 17 is equal to 48. 48 is not the answer. So, let's try another one like 23, 24, 25. 23 plus 24 plus 25 is equal to 72. So, 72 is our correct answer. So, our check is, if we add the 23, 24, and 25, it will sum to add to 72. So, our final answer is, the 3 of consecutive adits that can give us a sum of 72 is 23, 24, and 25.
So, let's tackle naman po yung last sa Polya's problem-solving strategies, which is the indirect reasoning. In this problem-solving strategies po, we provided no problem and solutions para po malaman natin kung paano po nagagamit ang indirect reasoning sa problem-solving strategies na to. Yung problem po is, today we examined a right triangle with legs in a specific ratio and calculated its properties. We solved for the leg length, computed the logarithm base 2 of twice this length, and found the radius of the inscribed circle. This exercise show how algebra and geometry interrelate in problem solving. Sa Polya's problem-solving strategies po is we will understand kung ano po yung problem, which is the algebra and geometry does not interrelate in problem solving. Since po sa indirect reasoning, we assume the opposite of what we are trying to prove, which is how algebra and geometry interrelate in problem solving, and then show that this assumption, algebra and geometry, does not interrelate in problem solving, leads to contradiction. Yung plan naman pong gagamitin natin is indirect reasoning. So, paano naman po natin mako-contradict yung statement or yung problem na algebra and geometry does not interrelate in problem solving? So, here's the steps po to contradict that statement. First po is the leg length was determined by geometric properties. Since yung leg length shows evidences such as Pythagorean theory and ratio, it is clearly shown that this step has geometric properties. The logarithm base 2 of the twice the leg length involves algebraic principles, and then the radius involves a formula combining the triangle side showing algebraic and geometric concepts. Since this step has algebra and geometric properties, we can conclude that they not interrelate leads to contradictions. Since po yung problem na algebra and geometry does not interrelate in problem solving, does not interrelate because it is clearly shown evidences that algebra and geometry does interrelate in problem solving. So, yung answer po is the original statement, which is that how algebra and geometry interrelate in problem solving is true.
Madali lang pala. Madali man lang baga. Saka kadakol, babies. Paano? Mahuli na ako.